lead generation, we're going to be talking about 4 planets today. And then of course, role play. Role play meaning practice. In our world, this is batting practice, the driving range, piano practice, any type of thing that you're trying to learn. It takes repetition to do this. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but what we're going to focus on is our 4 planets. So in lead generation, your 4 lead buckets that you want to master are prospecting, networking, internet marketing, and of course, direct mail. Now, you can't really master all 4 of these day one. What I strongly recommend is usually based on your personality style, you're going to gravitate towards 1 or 2 of these a lot more than the other. You might have even just looked at this and go, prospecting, not for me, right? Not my jam. You might go like me, I hate networking. You want to make me cry? Put me in a room of people and make me talk to them. It's literally my kryptonite. It is not what I want to do. So networking is something that I work on, but it's not my favorite. I would rather make 1,000 cold calls than have to get into a room and talk to people. Maybe you're more an internet marketer. Maybe you want to get your listings and you go, look, I love getting on YouTube, TikTok, social media. I love connecting and emojiing and smiley facing and doing short form video. Or maybe I just love building website funnels that generate leads to my website to capture information. And we're going to talk about that today. And then lastly, maybe you're just amazing at direct mail. Maybe you love doing pop buys. You love having a farm. One of my business partners and a top agent I coach, she sends out letters from the heart where it talks about her and her family and then connects with people on a higher level in her database and in her farm so that they send her business. So many different ways to win at this real estate game. But what you want to do is make sure you master one of these planets. And when I say master, you're going to hear techniques today and sources that you go all in and you really dive deep into 1 or 2. And then you still want to be well-rounded, but what people do is they dabble in each of the 4 and they don't get very far. If you're going to be a hardcore prospector, be a hardcore prospector. Make your living off of contacts, lead gen, doing that. If you're never going to do that and you're never going to find fulfillment in it, then let's focus on one of the other 3, but they still are going to take a lot of work. It doesn't mean networking, you just get to go to happy hours and drink margaritas and go to your book club. That's not going to get you there. We're going to have to leverage the networking to turn into long-term real estate business. So think about the model that you're building. Is it going to do 100+ homes a year? All right, moving on to our next lead source. All right, door knocking. Door knocking. Remember, we're still living in prospecting. I'm getting these 2 painful ones out of the way so we can get to the more fun sources here in a moment. So door knocking. Door knocking, we just gave you the exact script to use, but this script is so much more powerful in person at the door when you're doing a just sold. Okay? So door knocking. Why door knocking? Because a lot of people, especially some of us on this session right now, are better in person than we are in the phone. If you show up and you're cute and you're bubbly and you're friendly or you're nice and you have hair, right, and you're not intimidating looking, you're going to have a lot higher success rate at the door than you are on the phone. Just depends on what your style is, right, and what makes that style work. So make sure you're thinking about that. Then the second question I always get is, what should I bring? So what to say, we have scripts. All your call scripts are the same thing for door knocking scripts. It's just now you're in person. What should you bring with you? This is where there's some debate. And so I'll give you a couple of pieces. When I door knock, all I bring is a yellow sticky notepad. And I put a little notepad on the door if they don't answer the door. And I say, had a few questions. Can you please give me a call, Brendan? And I put a little smiley face and my phone number. I stick that on the door. I don't tell them I'm a realtor. I don't put a business card. I don't leave a package of junk. I don't put a door hanger, because the psychology of this is I want them to call me so I can talk to them. Curiosity is going to have them call me. If they see I'm a realtor, they're going to go, realtor, yuck, in the trash. I can't sell them if I can't speak to them. So that yellow sticky notepad is all I would ever bring. Now, if they answer the door and you're going to actually walk in and have a listing presentation, meaning that, hey, well, actually, yeah, we were thinking about selling. Here's the door knocking script. So it's like, I was in your neighborhood. I had some buyers that missed out on the property at 123 Elm Street, or I work with buyers all the time. That one just sold down the street for XYZ amount of money. I was seeing if any of the other neighbors might be interested in selling. Yeah, actually we are. Come on in. I'd be like, great. I would, of course, have with me, we do a digital presentation, so you always have it with you if you have your iPad or laptop. If you had your printed presentation, you'd have that with you, and then you walk in and you do your listing presentation. That's it. Now, the only 2 variables of this for door knocking or the call is You can also do this with a just listed. So you don't have to do it for just sold. If you don't like the verbiage of having a buyer, you can go, hey, we just listed, or a home just listed down the street at 123 Elm Street. We know that home's going to sell very quickly. So I'm going to all the neighbors today to see if you or anyone you know might be interested in selling, because we're going to have a lot of backup buyers because of that listing. So Susie, it is Susie, right? Susie, do you have any interest in selling? Well, not right now. Go through your checkdowns, blah, blah, blah. If they say, yes, we are interested. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I knocked on your door. May I come in and see your home? That's all it is. Okay, so you have your just listed variation, which you might feel more comfortable with instead of having I have a buyer right now for the property, because you're just anticipating the future buyer. Anna, you had a question?
We've got a couple rolling in. How many doors do you decide to knock before, like what's the average door knock ratio to listing presentation on the spot? And how do I just decide, is it 10 a day? Is it 50? How do I make those numbers work for myself?
Yeah, so it's two different things. It's never, with door knocking, it's never an amount, it's a time. So if you have a 3-hour lead gen time and you're going to dominate a neighborhood, that weekend before you even go out for this entire week, you have to map out that area. And so you're going to go from, let's say, 9 to 12 every single morning. If it's not, you're in Colorado and it's snowing, or maybe it is because they feel really sorry for you and they'll ask you in for a cup of coffee, which, if you act like you're really freezing, they'll be like, oh, you poor dear, come on in. I'm like, thank you. Will you sell with me? Right? So sometimes it's better when it's cold, but you're going to go as long and as many houses as you can during that 3-hour period, right? It's all about lead gen sessions. It's not about trying to have a targeted number. Now that you've hit X amount of houses, you hear that whistle blow 12 o'clock, you hit your last house, you go have a healthy lunch. Now all the people that you met along the way, you have all your notes from your handwritten notes on what their status is. You're going to go update your database. You're going to either head to the office, or more than likely, if you're doing this on a consistent basis, you're going to have listing or buyer appointments scheduled for the entire afternoon. Great question. Cool. One more, Anna? Or
One more. So this other one came in just really quick. As far as door knocking, if I go to a neighborhood and door knock and I don't talk to anyone, do I go back the next day, the next week, or do I wait a month?
So if somebody doesn't answer, do I go back the next day, the next week, or do I wait a month? Well, you wouldn't. So you'd put the yellow sticky note on there. At minimum, if you're going to go back, I would wait at least a month, because if they don't call you back on the sticky note, then they might not even live there, or something might be weird with that house. So yeah, I'm going to wait at least a month. I knock on a door, I put my sticky note. If I can talk to them, great, wonderful. If not, I'm moving on to the next area.